Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and today we've got an ink review that I probably should have done a while ago, but I just kind of didn't. But this one caused controversy, this here ink, and it's actually one that got me quoted in the New York Times. That's right, I am a quoted source in the New York Times because of Lamy Dark Lilac 2024. That's kind of a funny story about the New York Times thing, but my friend Aiden was getting interviewed, and he's like, hey, you should probably check out this guy Mike, and so they contacted me for some information, and this is it was interesting. It was a fun little process, but this is Lamy Dark Lilac 2024, and this is Lamy Dark Lilac 2016. You can see it's got a little bashed in, but it's been since 2016, man. What do you want? You can see they are different boxes, which is nice. The color on the front here is different, which is interesting given what these inks are going to look like. But if you're looking for the 2016 one, it will have these purple sides. If you're looking for the 2024 one, it will not. Neither of these actually have the name of the ink. Oh wait, actually, let me take that back. This one does have the name of the ink down there on the little code. Although I'm not sure if that is a code that came from Lamy or if it's one that came from whatever store I got this in. But this one doesn't say. So like, my suggestion for Lamy was that they should just change the name of this one. They could have just not called it this, because I think they actually intended it to be the same color according to Lamy themselves, but there was some mix-up, and the folks making the ink were not talking to the folks who were at the head of the table there, and so they didn't know it was going to be different, interestingly. But these are very different inks, and so be careful what you're getting depending on what you're looking for, right? Let's take a look at what these, well, I'll show you the bottle too, because hey, why not? We know what these Lamy bottles look like, but they're pretty great. This is actually one of my favorite bottle designs. I think it's just very, very useful. You have this nice wide opening here at the top, which is easy to fill pins from. You can see there's a lot of sheen around the edges of the cap over here. You can see it's a very dark purple there in the cap. Then at the bottom of this bottle, there is actually a very nice little, I don't know, little round thing with a whole bunch of these little perforated bits, and you can use this to wipe off your nib, which is really nice. You can get it looking pretty. You can also use it to suck the ink off the feed or whatever. And then at the bottom of the bottle itself, it actually has this little nubbin. So when you put your ink or you put your pen in the bottle, you're actually going down to here. And then there's like, you know, the sides in here angle down. So until this bottle runs out, you'll be able to get ink out of it, which is really neat. And I guess you could refill this too, but I don't know if they actually sell more of this. You just buy another bottle of ink like that. But it snaps back on there. It's a very good bottle of ink, or a very good ink bottle. Yeah, Lamy inks are underrated, I think, overall. There are a few that I'm not a fan of, but this is a pretty good one. It's just extremely different from the original Dark Lilac. It's not really the same at all, as we'll see here. Let's look at it. All right, so here we have Lamy Dark Lilac 2024 edition. And you can see this ink is mostly, the dominant color of this ink is sheen. It's got this bright green sheen on there, which is different from what we had from the 2016 version of this ink, which had sort of a golden sheen to it. It's just like, it's a whole different color. The color of the ink is fairly similar when you can see like the corner here and maybe that little tiny corner there. It's a fairly similar color, but it's this one's just like all sheen when you write with it. It's just predominantly sheen, which I think was a real disappointment to some folks because they want to see the color of this Dark Lilac. But even down here, just in the written bit, and this is the fine nib, y'all, you just can't see that color really at all. It might as well just be like kind of, I don't know, shiny green, right? Which is a little bit of a disappointment to folks, I think. The paper here, of course, Nebula Casual Note, 90 GM, square, medium wet flow, I would say for this one. Maybe just wet, but I'm going to say medium wet for now. Performance, it's pretty okay on copy paper, not perfect or anything like that. Qualities are sheen and controversy. So I actually had, I went ahead and put this, both of these inks in pens just so I could test them side by side. So this was the original Dark Lilac, and you can see I didn't fill it very much because I'm like, no, I'm saving it, I'm hoarding it, you can't get it. This one is the 2024 version, and actually you can see this one has you just shake them up. This one coats the sides a little bit, but this one really coats the sides there. I've actually only got about this much ink left in here. It's just kind of, it's been on my desk and I've been using it, so it's just kind of coated the inside. But when I push the piston up, it hasn't stained or anything. It's just kind of coating it for whatever reason. But you can definitely see there's a lot of sheen, even on the nib there, or on the feed. It's just an extremely sheeny ink. I actually like it. I like it a lot, but it's not the same as the original Dark Lilac, which was purple first with a hint of sheen. So kind of very different experiences. Even from a fine nib, you're mostly getting sheen off this one. So the ink that launched 1,000 comments, videos, and a New York Times article quoting me. Nope, this version is not like the 2016 version of Dark Lilac. One of the components changed and they didn't know about it until it was too late. Much more sheen on this one, and it's a different color of sheen, but you know, I like it. Like I said, I suggested to Lamy on their social media that they could just change the name of this one. Like if they were worried about it not being the same, and it seems like they were eventually when they found out, and they found out that people actually cared about that, because man, people will pay a lot of money for that 2016 version. They could have just changed it. They could have called it Dark Lavender, or they could have called it, I don't know, Sheeny Purple number 4. Like, it doesn't matter. But if you call it Dark Lilac, people are going to expect it to be like Dark Lilac. And I think maybe they just hadn't taken into account how, how passionate the fan base could possibly be about that difference. So let's see if it has any water resistance here. I haven't tested this before, although I did do chromatography on it, obviously, and it looks like some of it stuck around. So there will be probably some. Let me get the rest of this. Again, I went overboard on the water because I'm used to a much more absorbent paper towel, but this worked okay. Yeah, so it stuck around really well as a pink. A lot of this is going to come off, and I imagine that would be kind of everywhere on your stuff if you dumped your cup of water on it, but your work will remain as a nice bright pink, which is kind of cool. I'm glad there is some water resistance of some sort there. You can see this pink sort of what do I call that? Carmine? No, I'd call that there's another word for pink that's like sea. Anyway, you know what it is. You're yelling it at the screen right now. And then up here at the top, you get these black areas and like extremely dark blue, perhaps, just up there in the corners. But that didn't really want to separate. I just kind of wanted to do that. So I just stopped. It wasn't really moving on the chromatography strip, which is interesting. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's just a very different thing. The price is great though. 50 mils of this for $12 bucks. We are getting to the end of 2024. So I don't know how much longer this will be around, but if you want to get some of this, I'd say grab it because I think it's pretty darn good, even if it's not the original. All right, let's look at it on some other papers. All right, here we have both of them from TWSBI Eco Fine Nibs. I decided to get some parity there. So you can see the 2016 version there on this copy paper is very purple, whereas the 2024 version looks almost black. It's just so dark. You don't really get sheen on this. This is that 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper, and just the ink can't sit on the top and sheen. It's just not how this stuff works. Now, on the back of it, I think the original version was a little bit better on copy paper than the new version, although the difference is, at the end of the day, fairly negligible. The color is very different, but performance is more or less the same. I think it's spread a little bit more than the original, but it's fine. I've been using both of these on copy paper recently with no problems at all. I think it's been totally fine. All right, here they both are on some, this is Mormon Juris paper, as I have down here in the corner. This is again from 99% Invisible City by Roman Mars and Kurt Kolstad. This is page 70. We're talking about recognition patterns, which is just kind of interesting. This is about the Silto patterns, like the police and emergency services use over in Europe largely. So the top up here is obviously that 2024 version, and the bottom here is obviously that 2016 version, and they're just extremely different, and you can tell it even from far away, but when you look close up, they are not that close, right? One of them is all sheen, obviously, and the other one is occasional sheen, but a really nice purple. So yeah, they're just not the same. It's not the same thing, man. It's just not the same. So there you go. You can take a screenshot of that if you want to take that for your records, page 70. All right. Next up, this is my Inky Fingers Currently Ink notebook. This is wheat straw paper, kind of like sugarcane or bamboo paper, which you can still get. And then there are the two entries there for the 2016 and the 2024. As always, 2024, just sheen, and 2016, real nice grapey, kind of lilac-y purple. I don't really think it's all that lilac-y. My lilacs are a very different color, but whatever. It's still a nice looking color there. Yeah. And that Dark Sapphire Eco is real pretty. Look at that. I put the Dark Lilac and the Dark Sapphire, and I ain't mad about it. So yeah, I should have reviewed this a while back. I just kind of didn't. I don't know, stuff happened. So anyway, looks cool, but very different. Lastly, for papers, this is my Galen Leather Co. Everyday Book with original Tomoe River in it. Where are these? There's Dark Lilac. Oh, there they are. Again, they're next to each other, but this doesn't look like Dark Lilac to me. So yeah, you can definitely see this one got a little bit smeared. Let's see if I can still smear it. Nah, I don't think so. Well, maybe a skosh of purple smeared there. It's a little hard to tell. I didn't get any on my finger. I don't think. No, I don't think so. But not where'd they go? I lost them again. There they are. Yeah, they're just not the same on here either. Of course, you get way more sheen on the Tomoe River than anything else because that's Tomoe River for you. On here, I actually think the regular one looks better, but that's very personal preference sort of thing there. So, all right, let's take a look at it on next to a bunch of other colors. Firstly, just lilac versus lilac. We got the two dark lilacs here. Definitely some sheen here, all sheen there. Bought this one at Crazy Islands, our local place. I'll take this one out of here because it's not the one that we're talking about. But here we have this one. I went in deep into my heckin' sheeny category for this. And yes, I do have a whole section of my color decks that is just heckin' sheeny. So this dark lilac, this one is called Aurora Australis. And this is from Van Diemen's Night series. It's another purple, as you can see just from the edge. If you want a very sheeny purple, there are lots of those, but there's just like a little edge there, and the rest of that is just sheen. This kind of has this green overcast. It's really weird, but same sort of purple, I think. You just can't really tell because it's overcome with the sheen. Then we have here, this is Vinta. This is Harlequin Bodabil, which I want to say I got this from Goldspot for an ink event that we put together back in 2020. But you can see the corners up here are purple, but here, yeah, no, just sheen. So another just heckin' sheen monster. Then this is Diamine Cult Pens Robert, which is more of a magenta, I think, but you also get that real heavy sheen content. Oh, that's a different color. Well, actually, yeah, the sheens on here are very close. Between Lamy Dark Lilac and the Cult Pens Robert there. But the base color is quite different. So let's see what else do we have here. We got Diamine Mangis or something like that. Got this from Chris back in 2023. This is an exclusive for Pen Gallery out of Malaysia. A little hard to get around here, but a really nice ink. It's kind of a I don't know, it's in between the Robert and the Dark Lilac, I think, but it has the same kind of sheen as both. Then this is one from Kiwi Ink called A Witch's Potion. This is a much darker purple. You can see just sort of in that top left quadrant there, and maybe in this like little bit of streaks there. You can see that it's a purple, but otherwise, nope, just shiny green sheen. Then we've got Colorverse and True Fae came together for Beam Me Up, which is a much more grapey purple, but again, it has that same kind of greenish sheen that you're getting on some of these. This is a lovely ink to write with as well. If I haven't reviewed that yet, I will soon. Then this is one I've just put in a pen very recently. This is Octopus Fluids Medusa from Bee Haven. Thank you very much, Bee Haven, for this one. Really nice sheeny purple. It does come off more purple than sheen in a lot of writing, but it definitely has a whole bunch of sheen. This one is, again, a brighter purple than any of these, but it also has that green sheen to it. And then lastly, this one is from Sugar Turtle and Diamine. This is called Lollygag, which I got at the DC Pen Show. Really interesting color. I think this is more of a purpley magenta sort of color, as you can see down here in this little scribble. But again, tons of sheen on the old Lollygag here as well. So if you want a sheeny purple, your options are... there are a lot of them, and there are probably more that I just didn't pull because I'm like, nope, that's too close to any of the others. We're just going to go with this one. But yeah, none of them look like this. All right, so the original Lamy Dark Lilac from the olden days, I should write that on here just for funsies so that I know 2016 edition. So I know which one it is, but none of them are like this. So that's kind of too bad. We just really don't have this as an ink color option. Although maybe this is kind of close, actually. Now that I've got both of these together, the base color is... no, this one's definitely more red. Lollygag's more of a red, but they're kind of... nope, not really. This one, I don't know if I have anything that replaces it. It's just kind of singular and awesome. This one, very cool. And also, it might be the least expensive of any of these. Maybe with the exception of Robert. You can get this one from Cult Pens. They're very inexpensive over there, but $12 for 50 mils is a totally good price. I'd say grab some if you want a really sheeny ink that has behaved really well for me. So there you go. Controversy aside, I think this is a very nice ink. It's a cool ink for them to have released. I hope it sticks around for a while, but I don't know if it will. This might be a limited edition. I'm not 100% sure. Usually the limited editions have the colors on the side of the box, and this doesn't. So I don't know what's going on. The messaging at that time was really mixed because Lamy was being acquired, I think, and that had a lot to do with it. But this is good. I don't know. Check it out. Just don't expect it to be 2016 because it ain't that. All right. Until next time, folks. Peace out.